Hey guys, this is Marina Tolentino. If this is your first time watching my channel, we're gonna go all into the buying and selling process if you are PCSing to Hawaii. So let's say you've just got orders, or maybe you've had them for a while and you're trying to cram and figure out the whole process. Make sure that you're doing it the best so you save time and money. This is the video for you. Let's dive in. All right, so like I said, if this is your first time, thank you so much for tuning in. Like I said, I'm a real estate agent here in Hawaii, and I help people who buy and sell in Hawaii, whether they're coming, going, staying, locals, military, you name it. I love providing value to you so that you can make the best decision for you and your family. So make sure you hit that subscribe button and that like, because there's a ton more coming. So this is actually a multi-part series about PCSing to Hawaii. I'm a veteran spouse myself, and so we've had the privilege of PCSing 3 times. That was enough for us. In 2016, we got out of the Coast Guard and decided to stay here in Hawaii as home. This is where my husband was born and raised, and so living here has really been a treasure for us, and I hope it is for you too. But today this video is going to be about talking about the timeline of PCSing. So when you get those orders, what do you do first? What's the next step? What do you have to do for pets? What do you have to do for your vehicles? This is what we're going to break down. All right, so the first thing I want to do, if you've got pets, if you've got those fur babies and you're kind of stressing out, how are you going to get them all the way across the ocean to Hawaii? The first thing you're going to do is start the pet process. So let's kind of break that down. Number one, you need to know about Hawaii quarantine. So Hawaii doesn't have rabies. It doesn't exist on the island. And so they're very strict when it comes to animals coming in. And so what that means is you need to go to their quarantine website, which I'll link below, and you're gonna just fill out their survey. They're gonna have a checklist of all the things you need to do with your veterinarian before you arrive. And that just avoids your puppy or your cat going to Hawaii jail when they get here, basically. But if you don't have that paperwork done in advance with the rabies blood test and all of that done before you get here, they will go into quarantine for 3 months. They have visitation hours, and I can speak from experience. We decided to move back to Hawaii within 2 weeks, and so we didn't have that time window for our dog. Our poor black lab had to be in puppy quarantine for 3 months. We visited her all the time, but it was really sad. It's a bunch of kennels. It's like the Humane Society. So if your family member is an emotional support animal or somebody that you really treat like a family member, you're gonna wanna do this as far in advance as possible. All right, so once you've done all of that paperwork for your pet, you have the health questionnaire filled out, you've done their FAVN test, all that good stuff, you're gonna wanna book an airline ticket for that pet, right? And so that's your responsibility. The military is not gonna assist you in booking your airline ticket. Okay, and then another option for our pet owners is if you think this is too stressful and you're like, oh my gosh, I can't handle this on top of my really demanding job and having 3 kids and all the things, there are actually companies who specialize in pet movers. So those companies are Island Pet Movers, Pacific Pet Transport, and Starwood. And I'll link those below too if you want. But most importantly, if you guys have questions, make sure that you're reaching out to me via a comment on the video, or you can email me, and I'd be happy to give you all these resources so you can literally click through an email and make sure that you get all that stuff ironed out. So let's move on to the next task. All right, so the next thing you're gonna wanna do is really understand your BAH and your COLA amounts, right? So now that you're gonna be overseas, you're gonna be OCONUS, you're gonna need to know how much you're actually gonna get for housing allowance. This is really important. So same thing, I'm gonna link below a way for you to get that download. It's gonna have all the 2022 BAH rates. All right, so just a couple of BAH rates for examples. A lot of the clients that I work and help with a lot are E6s to E8s, okay? So let's just say real quick, an E6, if you do not have dependents, sprinklers we're dodging, it's $2,600 a month. So $2,667 for someone single, that's an E6. Now let's say you have dependents, that's gonna go up to $3,012 a month. Let's say hypothetically you're here for 3 years, right? Because most people are here for 3 or 4 years. What does that add up to over 3 years for an E6? That's $108,432 of tax-free money that you can use for its housing. All right, then let's go up to an E8, right? So this is somebody you've been in for quite a while, you've earned that rank, and what are you getting paid for your BAH? If you are single, that's about $3,000 a month. If you've got dependents, that's $3,390. Fast forward 3 years, how much are we talking? We're talking $129,168 that you could potentially use for your housing allowance, a mortgage, hopefully not rent or housing, but it's your choice. And so this video is also gonna advise you on what to do with that process. The next thing you're gonna do, if you have kids, so first we talked about fur babies, now we're gonna talk about real babies. If you have kiddos, I want you to look into childcare early. Preschools especially and early childcare are in really high demand in Hawaii, and it could be a long wait list. So if you know you're gonna live on housing already, definitely look at the ones on base, but if you're gonna be renting off island, or off base I should say, or if you're gonna buy a home, definitely be checking out in those neighborhoods, different childcare providers, and how you can make the best choice for you and your family. The next thing I want you to do is to build out a timeline. So if you currently own a home where you're at, and you're needing to sell it in order to move to Hawaii, you need to start, again, is the better in advance, the better. And so if you loved your realtor and you wanna work with them again, that's great. But if you didn't find a realtor that you liked and you had maybe a bad experience and you wanna find somebody else, I also have a nationwide network of reliable agents I'd be happy to link you up with. I can just reach out to somebody in your town, build a rapport with them, make sure that they're qualified, and then set you guys up. So you don't have to go back to a Google search. but you are gonna wanna start sooner than later. Planning to sell your home can take up to 6 months if you've gotta do repairs and you've gotta do some things here and there, especially scheduling out your household goods and kind of establishing your timeline. The sooner the better. You know, that's the biggest thing so that you can have the less stress as possible. All right, so as you plan to pack up and go, the biggest thing here is to declutter and to get rid of as much stuff as possible, because I will tell you, houses in Hawaii are a lot smaller than in the mainland, okay? This is one of the biggest complaints I get, and one of the funniest things I think when I do consultations with new clients that are moving is their dream is to have a 3,000 square foot property or a 4,000 square foot home that has a 4-car garage and da-da-da-da-da. Okay, here in Hawaii, we're gonna talk 2,000 square feet or less. Most likely 1,100 square feet is our average for a single family home. So if you are used to that 4,000 square foot home with a basement and with a 2-car garage, that's gonna be $1 million here. And so we really need to adjust your expectations, knowing that you're gonna take a small sacrifice when you move to Hawaii in the sense of space, but you're getting the beach, you're getting the mountains, you're getting everything that doesn't exist wherever you are. If you're in Georgia, if you're in Maine, all of that stuff doesn't exist. So we're doing a little bit of a trade-off here. It's a little bit of a reset of expectations, but really the biggest thing is knowing to declutter and get rid of as much in advance as possible. If you can avoid it, try not to overstuff your household goods, because then you're gonna be trying to get rid of it all once you get here. Alrighty, so we talked about shipping your household goods, but before you do that, actually, you need to do your vehicle shipment, right? So especially if you have 2 or 3 vehicles, the more in advance you can ship one, so it's here when you land, the better. I would say for the first vehicle, try to ship it out 6 to 8 weeks before you need to be boots on the ground in Hawaii. That just gives your vehicle time to arrive, time for it to get its processing done. And then ideally what you're doing is you're landing at the airport, you're checking into your hotel, or maybe you have a buddy here already who can pick up your vehicle for you or like figure out that situation, and then you guys have a car as soon as possible instead of doing a rental. So make sure you do that. We can definitely link you up with some good companies who do auto shipments across the mainland, get you over to Hawaii. All right, so next thing, let's talk about TLA, right? Your temporary lodging assistance. Where are you gonna stay before you have a house, before you have a rental? If you haven't done your due diligence in advance and you're waiting to be boots on the ground to do your shopping, you're gonna have a window where you're gonna need somewhere to stay, especially if you've got those fur babies like we said, and you need to find a hotel that allows dogs and cats. Where are you supposed to stay? So there's actually a list of hotels that are TLA qualified, and I'm gonna walk you through those right now. It's about 50 of them, I would say, but there's a couple that stand out to me as like really good hotels, and I love to refer those to my clients. Okay, so on this list is Alohilani. We're just gonna go alphabetical order. Alohilani Hotel is really good in Waikiki Beach if you want a fun experience. If you want to be a block from the ocean, you're gonna have ocean views. It's a really good pool, nice restaurants, all that good stuff. And they are willing to waive their amenity fees for military, which is nice. It does not have a kitchen, but you can do 1 or 2 bedroom units. Just depends on kind of what their availability is like. Okay, so this one's not as glamorous, but I'll say it's really helpful. So it's called Bamboo Waikiki on Kuhio. They do have a kitchenette and they have 1 bedroom types. It's free parking, free in-room Wi-Fi, and no amenity fees. So for somebody who's on a really tight budget and you're trying to cut back on expenses while you're in a hotel, this is a great place. It's right out of Waikiki, really close by, but it's not gonna break the bank. So another one I like to recommend is Hampton Inn in Kapolei. So this one does not have a kitchen, but like I said, it's a little bit better on the bank account. And it's just gonna be a little bit west from Waikiki, about 30 minutes. It's a really great neighborhood to explore the community if you're wanting to know where to shop in Kapolei, if you're looking at the Ewa Beach, Makakilo area. It's a great way to kind of get a sense for the community without fully committing yet. So that's a really good one. Another one in Kapolei is the Residence Inn by Marriott. It's really close by as well, right by the mall, super convenient in Kapolei. But again, you're gonna get more for your money instead of a Waikiki price, and it gets you a really good feel for the community in the neighborhood. This one does have a kitchen, which is really important. Free Wi-Fi, breakfast buffet, right? So we're looking for any type to kind of cut back on those monthly expenses. Okay, one of my favorite ones to recommend is the Surf Jack Waikiki. Not only is it hipster and Instagrammable, but they allow the dogs, right? That's really important. Every night, I think they have live music down by the pool, so it's a really cool vibe. They've got a great little coffee shop downtown, and like I said, it's in Waikiki, so you can still walk to the beach. It's super convenient to everything, but it is Waikiki living. So if you're looking for somewhere quieter, this is not gonna be your quiet hotel, but if you're looking for a fun environment, nightlife, good food, good eats, all that good stuff, the Surf Jack is the place to be. Okay, the last one on my list, that's like my favorites to recommend. It might not be the best fit for you, but I'm just gonna say it. It's the White Sands Hotel in Waikiki. Newly renovated, it's got really cute tiki vibes. It's got a bar with like little swing chairs. This one is not pet friendly, but it's great again if you want those amenities. If you wanna feel like you're on vacation, but you're house hunting still, White Sands is a great place to be. This one does free parking, free in-room Wi-Fi, no amenity fees as well, and you can do 1 bedroom types. That's my wrap up of TLA approved hotels. Again, if you want the list of the whole bunch of them, just let me know and I'll be sure to email that over to you. All right, so that wraps up my overview of your to-do list to PCS. Obviously, there's a lot more involved when it comes to all the nitty-gritty. I mean, technically, you should create a binder with different sectioned out tabs of like, here's your medical stuff, here's your government stuff, here's your job stuff, here's your kids stuff, like all the things you need to have prepared. And if you've PCS before, you know what I'm talking about, and I'd be happy to be a resource for you as you guys build that out. But number one, it's planning in advance, right? So as soon as you get those orders, start taking action, start trying to plan proactively so that you're not cramming at the last minute, trying to figure out what to do and how to get to a tropical island in the middle Pacific. We're here, we do this all the time. I help about 15 to 20 military clients a year, and it really is my passion. I sympathize with the stress. One of the perks of my job as a realtor is I actually get to go to base, multiple bases, and I help do the newcomers brief. So there's about 100 soldiers in a room who are fresh on the island. We do a who's been to Hawaii before, and 99% have never been here. And so it's my job to help them get through that process, talk about ocean safety, talk about buying a vehicle in Hawaii, talking about buying or renting and what's the choice for their family. And really, like I said, this is something I'm passionate about. So just beware as you are browsing and you're starting to click on forms online for Hawaii. Just because the company has veteran on it or military service provider does not mean that they might be the right fit for you. Everyone's out there to make a buck, but you gotta also do some quality checks. You gotta do some interviews, make sure that they are really knowing what they're talking about. So like I said, I'm here to help. I'm a real estate agent here on Oahu. Be sure to DM me or comment below. I'll also link my email address and things so you guys can find me. But I'm on TikTok, I'm on Instagram. I'm really trying to put myself out there so that I can help you guys. That's the biggest thing. And we've got more videos coming about PCSs, so let's stay tuned and we'll see you soon. Bye.